This team has not had a sack. We are going on 11 quarters of football since their last sack. Okay, let's think about that.
That hurts my damn head, brother.
I hate it here.
Is he confident that they will go 5-0 and make the playoffs? Andy said, quote, "We're going to try to tickle your tonsils on every play."
What the hell?
What the hell, Andy?
What are you talking about, Andy Reid? Calm down. You're horned up, brother.
A lot of people took it as something was going down the blowhole. That's the way a lot of people took that one.
Can you even say that? But I tell you what Tyrann Mathieu can do. He can bring the fire to that defense. He can get them fired up, get some intensity going. He can hold guys accountable. He's a leader on the football field. And Mike, we all know him and love him because he's got a big mouth. He's not going to sit there and allow Chamari Connor to suck ass without saying something to him.
Left tackle Josh Simmons is getting a, quote, second evaluation on his injured left wrist and arm.
Speaking of guys returning to KC, here comes TYREEK Hill. Y'all, you know how our boy is. Every time he can, he's going to stir that pot.
Life's not fair. Life comes at you fast, and the truth hurts sometimes.
You're listening to All Chiefed Up, the podcast.
Chiefs Kingdom ACU crew, welcome back to another episode of All Chiefed Up. We're back with another podcast for that ass. It is Tuesday, December the 2nd. Mike, the Chiefs are needing near perfection going forward to make a playoff run this season. Andy Reid got on the mic today. What did he have to say?
Yeah, so look, let's just kick it right off with this. The Chiefs need perfection going forward. There's just no doubt about it. We are sitting at 10th right now in the playoff picture. It's not looking good. Pittsburgh, they're ahead of us right now. Houston's ahead of us right now. But the good thing is, Steve, we're playing the Texans this week. So Matt Derrick had the question of the day. And basically, it was the question of the day because of the way Andy responded to it. And you don't know the exact quote. So I'm excited to just tell you this exact quote and get your sincerest reaction to it. So Matt Derrick asked Andy Reid what these guys needed to do for their next 5 games. Is he confident that they will go 5-0 and make the playoffs? And Andy said, quote, here we go, "We're going to try to tickle your tonsils on every play."
What the hell?
What the hell, Andy?
What are you talking about, Andy Reid? Calm down. You're horned up, brother. You've been eating those Blue Chews.
That's Blue Chew level horns right there for Andrew. What's he doing?
He went nuts. Is that his way of saying we're going to make it? We're going to make it to the playoffs?
He said they're always thinking that mentality, and they're going to tickle your tonsils. Steve, the way I took tickle your tonsils is they're going to go out there and they're going to hit somebody.
We know how you took it.
They're going to be physical. A lot of people took it as something was going down the blowhole. That's the way a lot of people took that one.
Can you even say that?
Why not? It's a well. A well's blowhole, okay?
Man, that's wild. Man, the Chiefs have a lot of work to do. Like you said, they literally need near perfection going forward. They have to win. They have to win out. They can't lose. If they lose, it's a wrap, guys. It is a wrap. I know a lot of the fan base right now already has that old school Chiefs negative mentality where, oh, it's over. Let's start talking about the draft. Face it, it's done. The Chiefs, if they win out, they absolutely can make the playoffs. They could be a 7 seed. Hell, they could be a 6 seed if they win out. Because you have some other teams here, man. The AFC is starting to eat itself just a little bit. You saw that the other day with the Colts losing to the Texans, and that helped us out a little bit. Also, you got Jacksonville. If they can take over and win that division over the Colts, that's even better for us because we have the tiebreaker on the Colts. But here's some teams that need to downfall just a little bit, right? Buffalo, Jacksonville, Los Angeles Chargers, Indianapolis, and then, of course, Houston. We get to handle Houston this week. So it's our destiny is in our own hands, essentially. Beat the Texans this week, go on to win out, and then you're going to make the playoffs. You're going to get a playoff spot. It's all in your hands. The thought of winning the division is long gone, okay? It's literally impossible for the Chiefs to win the division at this point. Other than Denver just giving up on football altogether for the season because everything's just fallen into place for them, right? They can't lose right now, no matter how bad they play and how good the other team plays. They're going to find a way to somehow win the game one way or another. So that's not going to happen. But yeah, I think the Chiefs have a good shot here, dude. 5 games. I've said it multiple times, but if you could beat the Texans, then you're turning around and playing, 2 division games that you've already lost. So normally the Chiefs split. It's not uncommon for a team to split the division games. So I think we can win those 2. And then you just have to beat the freaking lowly Raiders and the Tennessee Titans, and you're in the playoffs, dude. I like the chances considering how bad this team has been at times this season.
Right. You said some teams needed to falter, and you went on to name the entire AFC South minus the Titans. One of those guys got to win, okay? And right now, I watched a video today from Trey Wingo, Steven. He is on my camp of we need to see the Colts fall and the Jags rise and take that division. And the reason he said that is because the Colts right now, Daniel Jones is dealing with a severe injury. He's hobbling through practice. I think it's like a broken fibula or something he's trying to play through right now. It's not going to happen more than likely. And they have got a brutal 5 games. They have to play the Jags 2 more times, okay? And they're probably – look, they may only win 1 more game. And if they do that and they were to fall to a wild card, guess what? Us beating the Colts now turns into the only positive win we've had almost all season long, minus Detroit, who's in a completely other conference. Okay, so that doesn't help us at all in the long run. So he says that the Colts falling helps the Chiefs more, and that's where I've been. Look, the Chiefs have been on a just a bad self-inflicted tour over the last 4 games. Okay, they're 1-3 in their last 4 games. Our boy Warren Sharp put out this tweet today, and it is a masterful tweet to show you just how everything is not falling into place for the Chiefs. He says the Chiefs are 1-3 over their last 4. Over that span, they've taken 40% of their possessions into the red zone. Do you realize number 4 in the league, we've taken 40% of our possessions and we've got to the red zone. 20% of those possessions have been goal to goal, okay? But they've only scored a touchdown on 44% of red zone trips, which they got there at the number 4 rate. They only scored at the number 25 rate. And on the 20% possessions into the goal to goal, which was 7th in the league, they've only scored on 50% of those. And we've seen 2 or 3 straight weeks where they've been goal to go from the 1 or the 2 and can't get a touchdown.
Absolutely. That's been the death knell for the Chiefs this season. They can't put 7 on the board. It's got to be 3. Or they turn the ball over in the red zone. Or they get to the red zone and the flags start flying. There's always something that stifles them in the red zone. That's been the biggest issue with this team to me.
Go back to the Jacksonville Jaguars game. Mahomes gets caught and throws a pick to Devin Lloyd, and he returns it, and the whole game gets blown up over that.
Absolutely.
We have been an atrocious red zone team, especially in the goal-to-goal situations. And Steve, we talked to Warren Sharp earlier this year, and he said we were horrible at it last year. So it didn't get better this year.
Right. Well, one thing to keep an eye on, too, is the Chargers, in my opinion, because they have Justin Herbert, who does have a broken hand, had to get surgery on his hand. Granted, it's not his throwing hand. I think he'll still be out there playing football. But they have 5 tough games coming up, ladies and gentlemen. They start with the Eagles. Then they go play the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Then the Cowboys in Dallas, which we just saw if the refs are out, baby. That's a tough one. And then they have the Texans and the Broncos. That is a tough last 5 games. Mike, there's a possibility that the Chargers could lose out. That's insane to think about, and that's one less team to worry about. Mike, if the Chargers were to lose, say, even 3 of those games, which is very, very possible, and then you have the Colts fall and Jacksonville take over the AFC South, we might be in, baby. It shouldn't be all that hard. But here's the thing, man. The Chiefs have to get better. That's the main thing. Mike, we've seen a lot of injuries over the last couple of games. We've also seen the defense kind of falter at times. Like they'll be really good one week like they were against the Colts and then turn around on the flip side in Dallas and just look like complete butt cheeks. But, how can the Chiefs get better? We know that the pass rush is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
Because Brett Veach didn't go out and get anyone at the trade deadline, so it is what it is. We've talked about how you might have to blitz more. How can you do this with the secondary that's failing right now with people like Chamari Connor, who doesn't need to be on the football field? Well, Mike, there's somebody that everybody knows and loves, and he goes by the nickname of the Honey Badger. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
He told Kay Adams the other day that he would not rule out coming out of retirement to play for the Kansas City freaking Chiefs. He
Right.
said, I'm not going to say no. He also indicated he has stayed in contact with the Chiefs and would be open to playing for the right situation. So that's pretty freaking awesome, right? I know Tyron's a little bit older, but Tyron offers some things for the Chiefs, mainly leadership in that secondary. We lost that with Justin Reid this season, and it has been a big loss for us. I think that Brian Cook has stepped up and played great compared to how he had been, but he's still not that leader that's going to be back there commanding the guys in the secondary. But he's open to the idea. And one thing to keep in mind, Mike, is he said, he mentioned Brett Veach getting on the phone, everything like that. Something that I didn't know. He has a continued connection with Andy Reid because their son plays football on Andy Reid's grandson's team. And the family is actually connected and they're in contact quite a bit.
Yeah.
Mike, this could actually happen, I think.
Well, he said that in the interview. He mentioned that to Kay Adams. He said he talked to Veach, but he was always in contact with Andy Reid because of that. We actually did a short yesterday. If you want to go back and watch that, I had all that in there. Here's the thing. I would love to have Tyrann Mathieu back, but this is kind of how I'm sitting with it. We have 5 weeks to go. This guy's not played football all year. He's not going to get signed off the street, walk in, and make a difference. If anything, he starts to look a little bit like the corner Steven Nelson that we brought in last year, and everybody thought he was going to be some kind of the savior, and he sit on the practice squad the entire way and never see the field. That could be something that maybe if Tyrann Mathieu was re-signed, that's what he's going to look like, because I do not see him coming right off the street, right off the couch, coming back, getting into this defense, finding all that chemistry. Spags is not giving up Jamari Connor snaps. We already know that. You're not taking snaps from Brian Cook probably. I just don't see it being a big thing. Look, it gets the people horned up. It gives you a little bit of like, it inspires you a little bit. Right. It inspires you a little bit. You think it's good because of our safety play, particularly, again, Jamari Connor. But again, I just don't see how this makes a huge difference right now. If this were, say, week 4 or 5 and they wanted to do this, maybe so. But with 5 weeks left to go, I just cannot see this being something that the Chiefs even probably kick the tires on. And we're going to know here in the next couple days because they did that interview at Arrowhead today. Kay Adams was there talking to Mark Donovan and just everybody. And he said he was going to meet with Brett Veach today. Now, he didn't necessarily say, I'm going to go talk to him about coming out of retirement today. But he said he had a meeting with Brett Veach, and she insinuated it would come up, and he said yes. So we'll see. I don't know if it's going to happen. In my opinion, I don't think it does. I think it's a little far-fetched.
It's probably a long shot, but I think it could happen. And let me tell you why I'm on the other side of the fence than you. Because I think it's about more than just what Tyrann Mathieu can offer performance-wise. Tyrann Mathieu, like you said, he hasn't played football all year. Let's get this straight. He played damn good with the Saints the last couple of years. He can still play a high-level football, but he has been out. So I don't think he's just going to jump off the couch and be this game wrecker or anything like that, especially with the age he's at. But I tell you what Tyrann Mathieu can do. He can bring the fire to that defense. He can get them fired up, get some intensity going. He can hold guys accountable. He's a leader on the football field. And Mike, we all know him and love him because he's got a big mouth. He's not going to sit there and allow Jamari Connor to suck ass without saying something to him. He's going to hold guys accountable. He's going to bring leadership to the secondary. And I think he could bring some intensity to the football team. And I think if anything right now, that's what this team needs. We think the personnel is lacking in certain positions, right? Defensive line. A lot of people think the running back personnel is lacking. But I think the big thing that they're lacking is they just don't look like they want to effing win the way they used to. I don't see the fire that I used to see with the Chiefs. And I think maybe he could help reignite that. Do you think that?
I mean, there is a possibility. Absolutely. But we also seen a side of Tyrann Mathieu here in his final year with KC where he made a lot of business decisions. And if you're coming off the couch and you're here to fire people up and then a few things don't go your way, well, you continue to make another business decision and be like, well, look, I'm going to go ahead and call it quits after this year and I'm not going to injure myself long term or cause some kind of life-threatening
injury. But can it hurt
injury.
the team, I suppose? Is it really going to hurt?
I don't think it could hurt. I just also don't think it helps enough that Brett Veach can make it happen. Also, when and look, we have it prepared by going out and looking through all this stuff to see before we jumped on here and started talking about this. This is genuine reactions. So I don't know how this works, but he retired with another team. Is he still technically under contract? And if he comes back, he would have to come back to that team. I don't know that. Somebody can let us know in the comments.
Isn't that kind of how Rob Gronkowski got out of being in New England, though?
Right, but they had to trade him. Right? Didn't they have to trade? They had to trade, and I'm pretty sure if the trade deadline's done, you can't do nothing, right?
I'm not really sure. Like, I don't think this is a likely situation. I think it could happen, and I don't necessarily think that it would not be beneficial. I think that any player with the caliber of the Honey Badger, I think, can always be a help. I think any kind of veteran leadership or any kind of experience that you have in a stretch where you need to win 5 games in a row and then make a playoff run, I think that you take that if you can make it happen for the right price. I think I would give it a shot, Mike. But, speaking of guys returning to KC, the Chiefs lost to the Cowboys the other day, and here comes TYREEK Hill. Y'all, you know how our boy is. Every time he can, he's going to stir that pot. And guess what he did? He got on social media and put that cryptic tweet out, baby. Said, I need to go home. With a little smiley face, a little innocent smiley face, Mike. That was back on November 28th after the loss to Dallas on Thanksgiving. Posted it shortly after the game, and it got fans going crazy, brother. Everyone's been talking about it. The timing of the tweet is very suspect. It might not actually be about that, but he knows damn well what he was doing by dropping it at that time. It came on Thanksgiving weekend, right after the Chiefs dropped to the 6-6 record, putting the playoff hopes in jeopardy. You already got this fan base that's a little down on the team and kind of getting a little jaded. And then here he comes. But here's the thing, man. Even if he does somehow make his way back to Kansas City, we obviously know he's looking at maybe a return in 2026 because he had that dislocated knee, multiple ligament tears. Hell, we don't even know if TYREEK Hill's going to be the same. But either way, Mike, there's speculation between fans and just sports analysts, everybody talking about it. Is he talking about getting back to Kansas City and reigniting that dynamic duo with him and Mahomes?
He could be. Look, he wants out of Miami, that's for sure. I've never seen a guy suffer such a brutal, nasty leg injury and be so smiley going to the locker room and in the ambulance. Like, he knew he had played his last game with Tua and the Dolphins, and he was happy about it.
He hates it there. I think he knows he made a huge mistake.
Right. So the thing is this. Could he come back to the Chiefs? Absolutely. I guess he could. If he finds a way out of Miami, he could get back. He's going to have to take some kind of a salary cut. Again, You don't know what you got with him. Is he going to be ready to go? Is the injury going to slow him down? I mean, he's not a big wide receiver. You've seen a guy like L'Jarius Sneed put him in the dirt a few times and kind of shut him down. He wins with quickness and things like that. And if that kind of causes you to lose a step, then maybe he's not. He's also getting a little older as well. So look, it could be a thing. I don't think Hollywood Brown's coming back long-term next year. You got to make a decision with Rashee Rice. Xavier Worthy's under contract. You've got that going. Juju, they're going to make a decision on him. He keeps signing 1 years. It's possible. There may be some room for him. I would love to see a return to KC. I really would. I'm always kind of sentimental about that, right? Like, even as UK basketball fans, we fought with Rick Pitino. He went to our arch rival in Louisville.
But it's like,
if this year or last year, if they wouldn't have hired Mark Pope, you would have probably been like fine with Pitino because you wanted to see it come full circle.
I was low-key hoping they got Pitino back, brother.
Right, you just kind of want to see it come full circle, and it brings you back to your childhood and the nostalgia of it all. So the TYREEK Hill thing would be super nostalgic. I just don't know if it's possible. It kind of feels like maybe, the ship sailed on that one. But Brett Veach has done some crazier things. I'll say that.
Right. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is it's nothing that would be immediate help, obviously. And it's something that I'm sure there'd be a lot of speculation about over the offseason, regardless of how the Chiefs season ends this year, whether it's we don't make the playoffs or we freaking put another Lombardi over here at Arrowhead. I think that's going to be something that's talked about. Absolutely. Because like you said, TYREEK Hill has ran his course in Miami. I think that's completely blown up. Him and Tua don't get along. He's made it very, very clear he don't want to be there. And I think that he knows deep down that he made a mistake. I think he regrets the day that he got on that plane and left Kansas City, brother. I absolutely do. He missed out on a couple of rings and maybe more. Because if you had TYREEK Hill, you might have won some more. So, I mean, you never know. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on, man.
We've teamed up with DraftKings Sportsbook to let you know that Missouri is getting an early gift from Santa this year. You can now bet on your favorite teams and players right here at home because DraftKings Sportsbook is now live and available in your state. We love DraftKings because it allows us to take action on same-game parlays, props, and so much more when the boys in the red and gold host H-Town this week. New to DraftKings? Sign up today and take advantage of this exclusive Missouri launch offer. New customers that bet $5 get $300 instantly in bonus bets when you sign up using our promo code ACU. With DraftKings, the crown is yours.
But let's kind of turn this around and get back to the game coming up against the Houston Texans, Mike. And before we do that, guys, I just want to say we appreciate you all being here. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, do us a favor, give us a 5-star review. And if you can write a review down there, put some kind words, let people know where to find some good Chiefs content. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, share this out with a friend. That would help us out a lot. But let's talk about that Texans matchup, Mike. So, I mean, obviously we know right off the rip they have a great defensive line. They're also hot right now, bro. They've won 6 in a row, I think. They're reeling off the wins at the moment. They just got a little bit of momentum back with the return of C.J. Stroud last week. They had been rolling with Davis Mills. So I think that has them pumped up as well. But I think just right off the rip, man, right off the gourd here, if you will, I think just thinking about that game, some of the keys that just come to mind without me actually digging in and doing a ton of research, which we have not done yet. But I would say that obviously you got to protect Patrick Mahomes and you got to run the football. I think that is first and foremost the biggest freaking key to winning this football game. I think obviously, especially with the offensive line a little banged up.
Yeah, I think that's definitely key. You always got to keep Mahomes clean. But look, that's a lot of this is on Andy Reid. Again, we've had basically a mini bye. By the time you're hearing this, we played on Thursday. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We have been off for a full week already, which means Wednesday will be a full 6 days, which is about what you get between games. So He's getting basically a mini bye. You are strategizing for a all-out assault from a great defense with a pretty good back end with Derek Stingley. You've got all those guys on the back end. Right.
That's butt hurt from last year.
So, look, they're going to be out for blood. They all think that they got cheated in the playoffs. They're going to play their Super Bowl this week. We have been everyone's Super Bowl every single week. And
for years.
Andy Reid, exactly. And Andy Reid and them are not taking that into account when they're making their game plans. They're just not. And so they have to figure it out this week. They can't come out with some kind of asinine plan where they're going to come out in the Super Bowl and say Mahomes needs to hold the ball and we need to throw it deep. That needs to go out the window. Look, they got to get rid of the ball quick. They've got to use the run game to negate the pass rush. They got to use the screen game. It'd be nice to have a screen game back in Kansas City that didn't involve just Travis Kelce.
Absolutely.
Okay? It would be great. Let's start using Brashard Smith. Dameon Pierce, maybe he makes a return this week. Maybe they bring him up. Maybe he can come out there. He can do that a little bit. He can run the ball a little bit.
Maybe we got Pacheco a little intel from Dameon Pierce, you think?
Right. You never know. And so my thing is you're going to have to help Jalen Moore a little bit. You're going to have to help the other side, which we don't know who that's going to be. Is it going to be Wanye? Is Jawan Taylor going to be able to come back?
Let's
Might
pray
they go
to
Esapol?
Everything that it's freaking Jawan Taylor. We don't want Wanye Morris over there trying to block Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson.
Well, speaking of Josh Simmons, because we just really don't know what's happening there to a certain degree. Today in Andy's presser, he come out and actually said, and I'll get this quote exact right here for you. Andy Reid says left tackle Josh Simmons is getting a, quote, second evaluation on his injured left wrist and arm. That was reported by Matt Foster TV. So here's the thing. You got to be careful with that because that maybe give a lot of people a lot of false hope there. Like, hey, maybe it's not. But look, he said the same thing about Hollywood Brown last year with the collarbone. He said the same thing about did he say the same thing about Xavier Worthy this season? He
Yes.
said the same thing
All the
about
time. That's what they
Rasheed
do.
Rice last year.
It's pretty par for the course, right?
So I don't think you can just guarantee that he's going to be back at some point. Would they like it? Absolutely. But it looks like to me, Jalen Moore's going to be left tackle for the remainder. If we reel off 5 in a row and go to the playoffs, he's going to be the guy in the playoffs. And
Right.
Brett Veach paid him in the offseason for this exact scenario. So let's see if Brett Veach gets another cookie, because people were already crowning him GM of the year for the first 4-game stint. And now that you kind of look back on it, you're like, okay, that was cool, but this is where it really matters. This is where he's going to earn those big bucks. If the Chiefs can reel off this and go, can we get 9 straight and get another Super Bowl?
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane, dude. But that's what this game's all about, is how can we stop Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter? I think that's the name of the game. And you kind of hit the nail on the head, Mike. You got to run the football, and you also have to have some type of a screen game. I'm going to take that a step further. I think what the offense needs to do is they need to scheme open specific receivers. I think, and I'll throw Travis Kelce in the mix too, because I think Travis Kelce, it's a perfect game for him to have a big game. He's been having a hell of a season already. And the Texans' vulnerability on defense is a soft middle of the field. So I think that Travis Kelce could have a day. But I think that we have to design plays to get these guys open and get them the ball. And I think it needs to be schemed for them in particular. We need less plays where Patrick Mahomes has to first, do I hand it off or do I pass it? And then on top of that, let me go through my progression. We don't have 2 years for all this to take place.
Right.
You're going against the best defensive line in football with a banged up offensive line. So what you need to do is when Patrick Mahomes is in the huddle and calls the play, he already knows where he's going with the damn football. And we have the guys that can make things happen after the fact. All you have to do is scheme them open. I'm talking Rasheed Rice. I'm talking Xavier Worthy. I'm even talking Juju Smith-Schuster at this point. Hollywood Brown. Tyquan Thornton even. You have so much speed and talent on the field that you can use. And we haven't done that all year, Mike. It's always Mahomes back there trying to go through his progressions, make the best decision as quickly as he can. If he can't, scramble, make something happen, backyard football style. We have to get the ball into the hands of our playmakers quick and efficiently, and I think that's the way to go about it, and that's how you stifle that pass rush.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what you got to do. Will Andy Reid do it? Is he going to stick to the run game long enough? Because I don't think that you're going to gash the Texans. I almost said the Titans. I don't think you're going to gash the Texans with the run game, at least initially. Like I could be wrong, and they may just go ahead and sell out the run for the pass rush. They may do that, and I think they would probably be smart in doing that, because I would continue to call Andy's bluff on the run game. I absolutely would do that.
They will.
And so
absolutely.
It depends. And so, look, I tweeted this out today, and I thought this was a pretty telling thing. A lot of people are saying, hey, our offense is struggling, and yes, we have struggled in the red zone. We pointed that out earlier. But the Chiefs last season, Steve, their total offensive yards was 5,570. We are just now to week 14. We're just now. We've went through 12 games and our bye. So we're through 13 weeks. We already have 4,498 yards. We're 2 yards away from being at 5,000 total yards already. So with 5 games left in this season, they're averaging 375 yards per game. And if they were to hit that in the remaining 5 games, they will hit 6,373 yards of offense, which is 803 yards more than they had last year. One went to the Super Bowl, and one is barely in a playoff hunt. So it shows you, life's not fair. Life comes at you fast, and the truth hurts sometimes. And where the truth hurts is this. I don't believe it is the offense. The offense is not holding up their end of the deal for the majority of the game. But when it counts, the offense is doing what they need to do. And you've seen in the win versus the Colts, the defense held up their side of the bargain. But what you've seen a lot this year is a very stout defense falling apart in crunch time and being very unclutch. And they are not helping. Yes, they are not helping Patrick Mahomes comebacks. They are hindering Patrick Mahomes comebacks this year. This team has not had a sack We're going on 11 quarters of football since their last sack. Okay, let's think about that.
That
for just
hurts my
1
damn
second.
head, brother.
Yes. The
Good
fact that we
grief,
threw up a
dude.
graphic that our defensive line has 15 sacks. Myles Garrett just got his 20th sack of the season by himself. We
On
do
top
not
of
have
that,
a pass
as a whole team, the Chiefs have 22 sacks.
Right.
And the
I
Denver
think
Broncos
are up
have
to
over
51.
50.
Yeah, they went to 51. So
Dude, that right there.
Yeah.
And you called it before even camp, Mike. You
Yes.
called it. You said the thing that's going to hurt this team is if they do not address that pass rush. And boy, were you right. Good Lord. I think that one thing in particular is why the Chiefs have struggled so much this season.
Yeah. And I don't think it took a rocket scientist to see that. And
Well,
I think
no, you're not a
Brett-
rocket scientist.
No, I'm an idiot. But look, Brett Veach, all these coaches had to see that, and why they didn't address that is beyond me. Like, was there just
Right.
nobody there? Did they not want to give up draft capital? What was it? Were they really that high on Ashton Gillotte and Omar Norman Lott? Because they don't tend to play rookies anyway. Were you really that high? Did you get fooled by Charles O'Menahue's fake arrogance? Did that really fool you? And if it
Bro,
did,
it didn't fool us. I mean, I don't
No.
know how it could have fooled anybody, honestly. He's never lived up to what he says. So, I mean, that's pretty wild.
he talks
No,
like he should get paid as Myles Garrett. He's got nowhere near the sack total.
Gosh, he couldn't hold Myles Garrett's
I don't even think
sack,
he's
brother.
got the amount of pressures as Myles Garrett's have got sacks.
Probably not. But, this kind of bleeds straight into the next key that I think that just comes to my mind is all games like this are going to be close. It's very tough to just run off and win a football game in the NFL anymore. It happens occasionally. We've only seen it one time this season against the Raiders, but it's going to be a close game, dude. And in close games, turnover battle is magnified. Huge. You cannot turn the ball over. The Chiefs have to play smart. They have to play very disciplined. We got to cut down on some of the bonehead penalties, and we got to have to take care of the football. The ball security is absolutely key at this point. We can't have any ridiculous batted interceptions. We can't have Patrick Mahomes losing his damn mind and just tossing it to the other team for 6 points. The team has to execute, and they have to be on their A game, right? And what goes along with that, trying to win that turnover battle, you have to be able to get some kind of pressure on CJ Stroud to put him in situations to where he may make a boneheaded throw or to where he may fumble the ball while getting sacked. We don't create opportunities for ourselves to turn the ball over because we do not put any pressure on opposing teams' quarterbacks. If you noticed in the Dallas game, freaking Dak Prescott could have sat back there and ate 2 ice cream cones and baited before he had to throw the football.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. And we've seen it week after week after week. Even Daniel Jones at a certain point of that game was back there crocheting, making blankets, and then throwing 30-yard bombs. It's just unreal how much of a difference it makes when you can put pressure on a quarterback. And it's the same this week. The Chiefs have to figure it out. Mike, the personnel's not there on the defensive line. So what do? What do you do if you're Spags? Do you go off script? Do you try to come up with something different? Do you come up with more exotic blitz packages? Do you stick Leo Chanel on the edge and be like, let's try this out for a while? What can you possibly do to make that better without adding someone to the team, which you can't do right now?
Right, you can't do it. I don't know. You pray. There's really nothing to do. I was looking at some stats today, like I routinely do. This is what I do. This is our job now. Thanks to everybody that helped us out and helped us to get to this point in life to be able to talk about the Chiefs. We thank you every day for that. But the thing is this. I started looking at who actually blitzes. Like, where does the blitz come from? Do you know who the number one guy that Spags sends in a blitz from our defense is?
It's either Nick Bolton or Trent McDuffie.
It's Nick Bolton by a large amount.
I'm
talking over 50, and I think McDuffie's in like the low 20s off the top of my head.
Let's be honest here. Those two might be the best at blitzing.
Do you know who the next highest is?
Jalen Watson.
No, Drew Tranquil.
Really?
He's pretty close. And I don't like that because I would think Leo would be the guy to do that. And Leo's at the bottom.
Do we have to get started on how bad just the misuse of Leo, buddy?
Dude, look.
Good Lord, it's criminal.
The misuse of Leo is on par with basically the misuse of Chamari Connor. And the
criminal.
The love of Chamari. It's almost the complete opposite. Like, look, I'm afraid Leo's going to leave us in the offseason and go to somewhere that'll use him.
He's so damn good. He's such a great football player. And when I say it, I mean it. It's not like Spag saying, Chamari's a good football player. He's not. You just love him for whatever reason. I don't know if you like it. What do you like about him so much? What is it that you love so much about Chamari Connor? Because you can watch Leo Chanel. That guy is a complete effing football player. He's a beast. He does nothing but get shit done.
Yeah.
That's who needs to be on the football field.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was nowhere near. Now, look, maybe they used him in a lot of situations where, say, he spies and it takes him out of the blitz package. I don't know.
It happens occasionally.
But yeah, that's the way it is, man. So I was I was kind of confused because Nick Bolton is not the best athlete. He's not the fastest. He's by far not the quickest. Why would you send his slow ass after a quarterback? Especially
he is
mobile
a pretty good
quarterback.
Blitzer. I mean, honestly, I've seen Nick Bolton.
It is true. I understand that. But still, you would think everything about him says this isn't your guy.
What would you prefer? Would you prefer him blitzing the quarterback?
Right.
Or him trying to cover someone?
Well, I was going to say that maybe the blitz takes up the fact that maybe you can keep him on the field and you don't have to take him off the field during passing situations.
Agreed.
But I would have loved to be able to use Leo more in that situation. Absolutely. Or how about this as a wild idea? What about the really fast kid you drafted at linebacker that you haven't used so far named Jeffrey Bossa?
Jeffrey Bossa.
He would be a missile off the edge half the time. So, look, they got to figure something out there. I think the Chiefs have struggled a lot with just personnel problems in general. That's just where I'll leave it. I want to say this before we head out today. The Chiefs actually today had a very rare occurrence happen. They had a tryout today with a group of wide receivers, returners, and offensive tackles. They brought in Zach Banner, a tackle from USC. They brought in Joaquin Davis, a wide receiver out of North Carolina Central, which you guys probably don't know either of those guys. But you're going to know this name, Steve. Eric Ezukanma, wide receiver from Texas Tech. He was on a short list a few years ago of somebody we thought Brett Veach liked. They actually brought him in, I want to say, for a top 20 visit. He was out there. Then on the opposite end of that spectrum, they brought in Jaquan Jackson, wide receiver out of Tulane. And he come out in 2024, and he is quite opposite. He's a return man. He's 5'9", 188. And from everything I can remember about him, he was pretty quick. I think he ran a 4.42, and he had a 1.55 10-yard split. He didn't do a lot as a receiver, but he is a speedster. And a cool thing about him is he is Ed Reid's nephew. How do you like that?
What about it? The Reid boys tend to do good. I know that they're not related, but we like the Reid guys.
Right. One other name I wanted to say, Ohio State tackle, come out a few years ago, Nicholas Petit-Frere, who I believe was drafted by the Titans, if I remember off the top of my head.
I think you're right. I remember him. Absolutely.
So I don't know if they're planning on signing any of those guys or what the deal is, but maybe that's something to do with the whole Josh Simmons going to IR. Maybe they want to do it. I'm not for sure why they're bringing in the wide receivers and why you're particularly looking at Eric from Texas Tech, the big guy, and then you've got the small returner. So I don't know what's there.
Look, brother, I think that they've underutilized some of the receivers they have. I think Tyquan Thornton taking a back seat when Rice got back was a big misstep by the Chiefs. I think that they should have been using them more. I think we need to take more shots at Tyquan Thornton. I'm not sure why they think we need receiver help. I don't see it. Offensive line depth, absolutely. Let's take a look. Let's see, that can't hurt. But the wide receiver thing seems like
it's pretty baffling. I don't understand. I mean,
it's almost like, are the Chiefs and their upper management, are they really that out of touch with reality that we're looking at receivers? You know,
Maybe-
like
maybe one of
I'd
these
be
guys
trying to
could play
pull a pass
corner.
rusher out of my asshole if I was
may-
one of them.
Maybe one of them can rush the passer. I don't know. I have no idea. Are they trying to look for a replacement for Nico Remigio?
Maybe.
Brashard Smith sitting on the roster.
That's a couple more things real quick. Just in
Jalen
closing
Royals,
today.
who they will not use.
I don't understand that one either. He could be returning the ball.
Why
I
are you
don't
looking
get
at
it.
wide receivers when you got Jalen Royals on the roster? They won't even play him.
Absolutely ridiculous. And anyone that thinks that we should be looking at wide receivers is probably a slap nut. And if they have said or have told you at any given point that we need another receiver, quit listening to them, please, because they're just wrong and they don't know ball. But here's the thing, man. In closing today, a couple more things on that game, just off the top of my head. I think the Chiefs, I mentioned it briefly, they got to exploit the middle of the field. That's the soft spot of the Texans defense. I think Travis Kelce could have a big day, right? Also, red zone efficiency. You touched on this earlier. It's been trash. We have got to put 7 points on the board every chance we get against a defense this good. If we get to the red zone, we have to cash in or it will come back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
So they have to get that taken care of. And then the last thing, which you also touched on, special teams has got to get it together. The margin for error in this game is razor thin. And we have to be able to cash in on special teams as opposed to set ourselves back to the freaking 5-yard line every time we have the ball. Because that's getting real old, having to travel 95 yards to score 6. I mean, I don't know why we would ever put that on an offense that hasn't particularly been playing great. You know, they could be better. Why are we going to set them back every time? Dave Tobe, get your shit together, get your boys together, and let's make this happen. But guys, once again, appreciate y'all being here, by the way. Do us a favor. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share us out with a friend. If you're watching on Facebook or X or anywhere this gets posted at, get over to YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, 5-star review helps your boys out. Also, just a couple of other things real quick. Merch.allchiefedup.com. If you're watching, you can see this beautiful hat I'm wearing. We have all kinds of merchandise over there. Go get you some. It helps us out, and you get yourself something nice to wear. You're going to look spiffy. We have some Christmas stuff up, the Merry Chiefsmas shirt and hoodie. You want to go ahead and order those now so you have them for that Christmas get-together, that family get-together, that Christmas party, whatever it is. You want to be wearing the Merry Chiefsmas gear. Mike, one more thing for the ladies and gentlemen. You can join. You can be a member of our channel here on YouTube. Go to join.allchiefedup.com. It's just $4.99 a month subscription, and you get members-only live streams. You get some perks here and there. We give away signed jerseys. We give away signed footballs. We give away merchandise. We do all kinds of cool things for our members. So become a member if you would, and that'll help your boys out.
Right. Speaking of giving away merch, we're basically giving away on Monday, on Cyber Monday. We used, what was the code for Cyber Monday?
HORNT Monday, baby. But by the time they're listening to this,
Well, I was going to say, let's extend it to the end of Tuesday.
I don't believe I will. You know why? Because they're not taking advantage of this good deal. I just realized today, by the handful of you guys that did buy stuff, thank you guys, but we are actually paying out of pocket for you to get the merchandise. And you know, it's okay. If you're not cashing in, you're not cashing in. I don't know if I'm going to leave that up for another day, brother.
Well, you can try it. You can try it. And maybe I can convince Steve to let it go till midnight on Tuesday. But if not, go for it. Just go try it out. We are losing money. Like somebody bought a hoodie, we lost $1. We paid $1 for somebody to buy a hoodie.
$1.50. And let me tell you something right now. That's not a good business model. And Mike, we're probably not going to have it up. But go buy yourself something. Absolutely.
We'll see. Okay, man, that's going to wrap it up today. Like this, share this with a friend, hit that sub button if you haven't. We're trying to get to like 60, 75, 100K.
100,000.
It don't stop, never stops. We'll have more stuff out on Wednesday, more stuff out on Thursday. You know how it rolls. We'll catch you guys next time. Go Chiefs.